So Jason spoke with Kendra Horn at the state capitol on Wednesday, and then on Thursday morning he traveled up the Turner Turnpike to meet with Congressman Mullen at our OETA studios in Tulsa.
Congressman Markwayne Mullin, thank you so much for joining us today as we talk a little bit about your aspirations for the U.S. Senate. Let's get started with some of the topics that you may be dealing with if you become our next U.S. Senator. First of all, we all know inflation is high. It's remained high. Let's talk a little bit about the solutions you might have.
Well, listen, you can't have high energy cost and lower inflation at the same time. And so the first thing we have to do is become energy independent. And energy is the beginning of every product being made, and it is the end of each cost when it's being delivered. And so with high energy costs, we're going to have inflation. It's literally the backbone of our economy. So if we want to start getting inflation under control, we need to become energy independent. We can't be reliant on OPEC, the cartels in Saudi Arabia controlling our oil prices. We can't allow Russia to dictate our petroleum and oil products when we could be energy dependent right here inside the United States. And we need to roll back the disastrous policies that Biden put in control by picking winners and losers and forcing us to renewables.
Related to that, let's talk a little bit about energy policy because Oklahoma is an energy state. We do very well in oil and gas as well as wind, and we're starting to develop solar. So how do we take our experiences in Oklahoma, or how do you take your experiences in Oklahoma and transfer that to national energy policy?
Well, Oklahoma's real good about all the above energy. I mean, we have solar, we have wind, we have hydro, and we have fossil fuels. We show that we can do it right here in the United States. We show that in Oklahoma, it can be done in an effective manner and still be responsible for an environment to which we walk around and enjoy ourselves with the same thing with our kids. So all the above energy approach is the best thing and the best approach to have. So in Oklahoma, what we need to do is make sure that we're influencing Washington, D.C. These individuals in Washington, D.C., these bureaucrats out of the Department of Energy, these lifelong politicians that live in the White House right now, they're trying to force their ideas and their policies on us. That's not what our founding fathers wanted us to do. We're supposed to go up and influence them instead of them trying to influence us.
So as we know, rural Oklahoma is vital to our economy, obviously, because of agriculture and energy. So how can we work in Congress to make those rural economies stronger in Oklahoma and the rest of the nation?
We need to highlight our workforce. There's this huge need for a workforce right now. And we have to highlight that. In the country, what's the song, Country Boys Know How to Survive? We know how to work. And a lot of times there's a lot less competition. Sometimes you see factories popping up right beside factories and they're all competing for the same employees. In rural Oklahoma, that's not necessarily the case. You can put one factory there and that factory can be not just the lifeblood, but it can be the backbone of that economy, which people are proud to have there. For instance, in Westville, we're proud to have Baldor. Baldor employs roughly 600 people in a town that's just over 1,200 people. We're proud to have them part of our community. That same model can be used in other places if we learn to highlight it.
Social media and tech companies have gotten a lot of scrutiny lately from Congress because of misinformation and disinformation. So should Congress take action to regulate that industry?
I kind of take issue with saying misinformation and disinformation. What the social media platform has done is decided to pick winners and losers, just like the White House has done. They decided who's going to be censored and who's not going to be censored, and it doesn't make any sense. Just because they don't like your opinion, they're choosing to throw you off while they allow someone else's opinion to go out. They call one thing violent and the other's not. Who's making those decisions? If you're going to be a social media platform and you want to enjoy the protections that you have out there that keep you from being sued because you're putting this information out there, then you shouldn't be censoring it either. So either have an open platform or run it just like a business, and you can choose the information you send out there. Media all the time chooses what type of information you're going to put out there.
Let's turn to international affairs, especially the Russian and Ukraine conflict that's been going on for months now. What should the U.S. be doing right now, if anything at all?
We shouldn't be the one leading this fight. You know, it's not our backyard. Why I think we need to pay close attention and we need to start supporting Ukraine however we can. I don't support putting our men and women in harm's way. And at the same time, we need to make sure that we're shoring up our own backyard too. We need to have Germany We need to have France. We need to have UK and the countries that are in that region to take the lead on this. They should see how dangerous this could be if Russia follows through with the rhetoric that Putin is putting out there, and what would really happen if they actually got control of Ukraine. I mean, think about it. If they got control of Ukraine, they'll control 25% of the food supply for that entire region. We already see that they'll weaponize energy. You don't think they'll weaponize food too?
All right, let's return back to home. Let's talk a little bit about prescription drug prices. So, especially those who suffer with chronic illness are struggling to pay for those prices. What should be done to control those?
We need to open the doors and let people come back in and compete for our business. We've regulated the industry so heavy, so hard, that we've caused the industry to consolidate. And people aren't entering that spectrum anymore. No one's competing for our business. We don't have a few pharmaceutical companies left. And they are literally controlling the market. Want to bring down prices? Let people compete. The federal government, if we want the federal government to get involved in this, they're going to tell me something that the federal government's got involved in that's made it better. It doesn't happen. Government's design is not to create industries. Government's design is not to create jobs. Government's designed to create opportunities for entrepreneurs, for world changers, for go-getters to create those opportunities, to create those jobs. We need to go back to our basics. Let's see why is the industry consolidated? It wasn't always this way. People competed for us. There used to be pharmaceutical companies jumping up all over the place and coming up with new ideas and new inventions and new competition for new drugs to deal with chronic illness or just everyday medicine.
Congressman Markwayne Mullin, it has been a pleasure to have a conversation with you today. Thank you so much. Good luck in the race.
Appreciate it.